So, first things first, Curtis. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. So, what I want to start with.
I'm gonna try not to look into the camera.
That's fine. Just look at me. What I want to begin with is, you just said it's the life that chose me about music. When did it choose you?
I think the day I was born. You know, like my mom's a singer. I have musical family, musical lineage, so it's destiny, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of, especially earlier on, because your mother was a gospel singer, what effect did music have on you?
What effect? Well, she's a gospel singer, so like you said, like it's the power of just like the of spirituality, just like what gospel music has done for just like people in America through all the hardships and through everything.
Right.
It's like it's powerful stuff, man. You know, even if you don't necessarily believe in God or whatever, like it's something about that taught me. It's like, all right, music is super powerful. It's like a belief system. You know what I mean?
The communal aspect of it as well.
Yeah, the communal aspect of it, and just the power of music, like something people like. I've seen music literally like heal people, like from sickness and sort of things, stuff like that. So it's powerful stuff, man.
So
Power of belief, the mind.
So when you were young, did you gravitate towards gospel music, or did you?
I didn't really have a choice, but I knew I loved it. I mean, just like I like old gospel. Not too much into contemporary gospel music, but like just the old stuff. Like I loved that stuff when I was a kid, for sure. Like even like the acapella stuff that my mom would play and that would sing. Just like it was just something about it, for sure.
And then performing yourself, singing yourself. I don't know if you performed in the choir or you went to church a lot, but
we sang in the choir. We sang. Me and my sister sang together. I played drums in church, different churches that we would go to. But yeah, we're definitely involved. But my mother also had she had a street ministry where she would go out on the street and sing to like homeless people and like gang members and stuff like that. So we did that too. So that was actually a lot of fun. I met a lot of people doing that kind of stuff.
Well, is there something, because you mentioned you saw music heal people?
Yeah.
Is there maybe something?
Yeah, that's part of it.
That stuck out.
That's what I'm saying. That's part of it. Not one. I'm not going to share like one particular experience because there's many experiences, but like that sort of thing, like it helps, man. It's almost like because there's a certain thing, mental illness too, man. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like the power of like music can actually help someone get out of whatever depression, the rut. So yeah, it heals people all the time. And maybe there is some physical healing, like some actual body healing that works within that too. But yeah, music is definitely a healing.
And so, in that period in particular, what effect did it have on you yourself?
To see that sort of thing?
No, just to sing and to listen to music, kind of.
The same, man.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's what music is. To this day, it still does that. Like writing songs and all that sort of thing. It's just like it's self-expression, but it's also like a vehicle and a tool to let people know that they're not alone and that we're all together, that it's a community. Like, so yeah, music is in that sense like great. So
was it then early on as well that you thought, okay, this is going to be my career path isn't the right word, I suppose, but this is the road I'm going down?
No, I didn't think that. Music is just a lifestyle. Even if I was still washing dishes or doing whatever, I would be making music.
Right.
So
okay.
It just so happened that I was able to get paid at doing it. Because I love it, and that's great, you know. Music to me is not something that I would use to try to get rich off of, but to gain as much money as I can to facilitate what I want to make music, to keep pushing it forward. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the goal, like to be comfortable enough to like just make it all the time, and just to be able to like, if I want to bring in an orchestra, then yeah, I can do that. I can afford to do that. So, yeah.
So in that sense, was this album, Face Your Fears, was this easier to make than your first record?
No, I'm not gonna say that. It wasn't. Music to me has never been like a struggle. I've never struggled to make music or to like write songs. If I have a certain ideal in my mind or like a certain phrase, I'll write it down and then I'll come back to it later. I don't try to like push towards it. I just leave it and I come back. So it's never been a struggle. Some of the songs were like, they came like super easy. It's because the feeling of it was there. It's like when you're in the moment, it's like when you're in the zone, like when you play sports, you play basketball, and you're in the zone, you just go with it, man. You just let it flow. So, but yeah, some was cool, and just some of the stuff was just like, just let it happen naturally, organically. Don't push it, don't force it. Just, come back to it. It'll be there.
What was the first idea you went to when you thought about doing this second album?
The first song, Wednesday Morning Atonement. Okay. Danger and this guy Sam Cohen, Danger Mouse.
Sure.
They had this idea for this groove, and they started playing it. I was like, okay, this is dope. I was like, all right, I've been away for a while, and just the mood that it's put me in is like sort of like this lost, you know what I'm saying, this void of like missing someone, you know what I mean? So that's where and it was Wednesday morning, literally. So it was like, all right, so that's where that title came into play. I was like, Wednesday Morning Atonement would be dope. So I just started writing about an estranged father, but also like in a metaphorical sense, it was like I hadn't put a record out in a long time, and this was like our first thing, so I felt like I was neglecting like my children, and I hadn't seen them for a while. So that's what that was about. So that was the first like feeling that I got.
Well, I was gonna ask what happened on Tuesday that you had to atone for on Wednesday. But I don't know your exact background, but you didn't grow up with an estranged father, right?
No.
So it wasn't that wasn't part of your life?
No. My dad was present, man. My dad is still there. My dad is 88 years old, man. So yeah, my dad has always been in my life. Love him for that. Thank you, Dad.
What you mentioned, music and then your songs being your children, and then being away from it. Why is that? Why do you have to be? Because I read a little bit about this, about the way the music industry works. But
yeah, it's just like the business side of the music can kind of pull you away from that. You can get sidetracked, and that's why you have to like have a team of people to do certain stuff for you, so you can just concentrate on making the music. My whole thing now is just like being aware of what's going on and making sure that the people that I work with are on top of shit enough to where they can handle it. So you have to trust the people you work with in order to do that, to maintain, in order to be creative. So that's my thing now.
In that sense, is that because you got burned at some stage? Or?
No, I didn't get burned. No. It's not that. It's just like, I'm more so like a hands-on type of person. I'm kind of a control freak in that way. So it's like I need to know what's going on, or like even just trying to set up to where I want to go next. I didn't have management at the time, and I was like trying to figure out who I wanted to manage me, because I had certain offers. I had a couple offers from different labels. I wanted to know if I was going to go back with Anti, if I was going to do this and do that. So just all that sort of thing. And then just like the day-to-day of just like having to maintain the family structure back home and whatnot. All that can like kind of pull you away from it, pull you away from like just being a complete artist. But all of that is also a process of being the artist, because you can gain all of that, use all of that material, all of that stuff that you use to write those songs. That's how Wednesday Morning came about.
Right. So you have Wednesday Morning, and well, one more thing about that, because you say you're somewhat of a control freak. So Danger Mouse and Sam Cohen.
I had to relinquish some of that control, man.
Right.
I had to like let some of it go. But I love collaborating with people too. So you gotta like let your ego get out the way. And I feel like, and I've said it time and time again throughout these interviews, is like you do what's best for the song, you do what's best for the music. Because ultimately it's gonna live longer than everybody. It's gonna live longer than Danger Mouse. It's gonna live longer than Sam Cohen, you, me, you know. So you gotta do what's best for the song, man.